Sit down and let me tell you a story. You're taking the role of a mighty warrior roaming a virtual world. You find yourself underneath a large oak tree. The wind is howling through the leaves in the dense forest around you, and you are approached by a hooded woman. You speak with her, and none of the things she's telling you makes any sense to you. And that's when you realize you missed part of the story. This phenomenon is part of the problem called the narrative paradox, which can arise when playing open-world video games that attempt to convey a linear narrative. The creators of the game want you to experience the narrative in a specific order, but at the same time they want you to be able to freely roam the world they have created, hereby enabling you to unknowingly skip parts of the story. This project will attempt to establish a solution to the narrative paradox. A theoretical approach to solving this issue has been proposed by Henrik Schoenau-Fog and is called Space-Time Interactive Narrative Framework. The idea behind this approach is to move the story with the player and wherever he decides to go, utilizing time as an additional dimension, thus ensuring that the linear narrative is encountered in the intended temporal order. The goal with this project is to implement the space-time interactive narrative framework and hereby learn whether it's an applicable framework to solving the narrative paradox. We raise the following research question. To what extent can the space-time interactive narrative framework be used in a free-roaming open-world video game to enhance the player's narrative understanding while preserving their sense of agency in regards to the navigation? In an attempt to answer the research question, we developed the game Entity 78, where the player assumes the role of a robot who has to explore the world and find out what happens to its kind. Two versions of the game were made, one conveying the narrative by utilizing the space-time interactive narrative framework, and another that conveys the narrative in a conventional linear fashion where the positions of the narrative events are fixed in virtual space. A between groups test was conducted on 20 students in a high school in Denmark. Although the sample size was low, the results showed a significant difference of the participants' narrative understanding and agency in regards to navigation, indicating that the space-time interactive narrative framework can indeed be used to solve the narrative paradox.